always get nervous when he says he's going to sneak around behind me.
Brad Gallagher, eh? The failed rabbit trapper. Can you tell me what it's like to live with that fella? Oh, she's off the bone. We'll tip all that in.
He gave a mighty roar. I roared all through the territory and never come unstuck. So give me all you got, big bird, and buck, you bastard, buck.
He's got the fire pit going in the backyard. So you got a herd named after yourself?
Yeah, that's unbelievable, isn't it? Yeah, righto.
Well, g'day, cough dodgers. I thought while we're out here in rabbit country, it's only fitting that we do a rabbit dish. I'm gonna knock out a little honey mustard rabbit in the camp oven, and I've got one of the greatest all-time rabbit men. He loves wascally wabbits, this fella, and he knows how to gut and skin them flat out. And he's preparing for me for the cook. The great Bradley Gallagher, check him out. He'll be in action here. What are you doing, Brad? Give us a look at you.
Just skinning it, Loz.
Yep.
Quick way to skin them.
Little nick through the back. Well, this is fresh. This is as fresh as they get. Beautiful. The meat on that little fella.
Got a bit of fat inside him too.
Bit of fat there, so she'll go straight in the camp oven.
Yep.
Righto.
And you knock the tail out.
Tearing round the ring. Beautiful. Ooh.
Put him up the centre.
Yep.
You always got to make sure you get that little bit of gland out. See that gland in there?
What's that gland do?
Doesn't taste real good.
Right. What's that, like a poop chute or something? Is it down half down the lip?
Old Ray Everly told me years ago, you always got to make sure you got rid of that.
Yep.
There's your rabbit ready to go.
Right, we leave the kidneys in and that for the
we
cook?
take that out when you go to cut it up. All the kidneys go out, the liver comes out. You're just using the front legs, the middle section, and the back legs.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Put that on there, mate, and we'll brew up this dish. You're going to join me for the cook, though. We're going to do. It's not going to take long. This cook. I want you to watch what we're going to do here. Righto, viewers. Tell you what, it's a business end of the deal now. We've got the champ here is going to cut up these rabbits for our honey mustard rabbit stew. This is going to be gold. We're going to do this one sort of as we go. So I'm going to leave it over here to Brad here. He's going to show us how to carve up a rabbit, stuff to chuck out, stuff to put in the stew. And then we're going to add all the gear into the camp oven. You take it over there, champ. Tell us what you're doing as you go, though.
All you got to do is take the front legs off.
Front legs straight off.
After you trim them all up, you've got to go and wash a bit of blood and that off them.
All right.
Legs come off. Then you cut him in the centre.
Yep.
You got a sharp knife.
It's a good looking knife, though.
Yeah. Everyone knows the local bloke around here, John Devine.
John Devine.
Burry, they call him.
Devine made that, did he?
Yep.
Give us a look at it. Just give us a look at the camera. Jeez.
Makes a lot of knives. He's bloody been making them for years, and
Beautiful.
they work well.
He's a fairly seasoned larrikin, that Burry Devine, and he's he's been into the pig chasing and bit of everything. Righto, so
what we do here now is we don't want the liver and the heart and that, and the rib cage, so you just...
That's the bit with myxomatosis, so we get rid of that, don't we?
Yep. Probably knock them...
Knock the little flaps off. Yep. She's a sharp little knife. She's a beauty, that fella.
That's your dog meat.
Yep. Righto, so we cut them up. So we're going to cut...
There's another two to do.
Righto, we're going to put three in the stew here, and pray, because we've got a great little concoction coming here. Honey mustard rabbit. Well, you little cough dodgers, we've got 3 rabbits ready to go. straight in. Honey mustard rabbit we're doing. So perfectly set up by Brad Gallagher here. So what we're going to do, we're just going to start them in the camp oven here, just brown them off. I'm going to ask Brad if he wouldn't mind chopping up a little bit of carrot and onion and a little dob of butter.
Not a problem, Lewis.
No worries?
No worries.
You're easy to get on with. So I'm going to put, here's our rabbits, little portioned up. We've got rid of the stuff. I'm going to put a little Texan rub all over them. Texan rub up. That's looking good. A lot of meat on these rabbits too. You give me a little dob of butter, mate, halfway through that carrot, can you? That's it. That's it. Use that knife everywhere, don't you? Love that Borry Divine knife.
It makes a good knife.
It is a good knife. What are your thoughts on rabbit? You like eating rabbit?
Love eating rabbit.
Right, you're going to love this one. This honey. You had a honey mustard rabbit before though, Bradley.
No, I haven't.
No, you haven't. So anything could happen here. So we're just going to, nice butter in the bottom of it. We're just going to brown them off before we hit the coals. We've got a bit of every part of the rabbit here, but we've got a lot of meat come off 3 rabbits, don't worry. We'll get that on the sizzle. How you going over there with that onion?
Good.
You're not a big onion man, you told me, but it's all right.
It's all good, Peter.
Talk me through what you're doing with that onion. That's it?
Just peeled him, mate. How big you want pieces?
Just nice. Too big. Too big. That's it. Righto. So we're going to just season these up. We've already got the rub on them. We're going to pepper them up. Get some flavour going there. A little bit of sea salt. Murray Harton sea salt. 1,000 years old, he reckons sea salt is. But I don't know how to work that out. But she's on. Might get you to tip that in, Bradley. Tip this. We're going to do 1 pot 1 to this. Let's get it all going at once. Main thing is we want to do is just brown off those rabbit pieces so it doesn't take as long on the coals. Secret ingredients: honey mustard brew. Cheating a bit there, because I'm just going to show you what I'm using there in this mustard mix. It's a honey mustard chicken mix, but what happens is rabbit is very much like chicken. So this is beautiful and mild. It can overpower. Rabbit can overpower easy, can't it, Brad?
It can, Peter.
It can overpower. So what we're going to do with that is cut it with some fresh cream. Put these in. So that's what's in here. The old Master Foods honey mustard chicken. Unbelievable. It should be honey mustard rabbit, but it's not today, but that's the way we're doing it. So I'll put another one of those in. Oh, geez, that's smelling all right. Could you get that off, mate? God almighty. Oh, big strong wristed fella. So we're just going to, a little smash of garlic in there. All right, we're going to pour all the mustard over, honey mustard. In that, we're going to put a... It's hard to open, isn't it? We're going to get the cream in there. Swill around, get all the juices out of her. We're just going to steam this on the burner for about 5 minutes on a slow heat. And then we're just going to let nature take its path. So straight from here to the coals. What do you think? How's it going all right? What's your call on the rabbits?
Looks good, Peter.
Well, they are your rabbits.
Well, they should eat all right then.
Well, we've just got to give that a little breather. But what do you think? How's it brewing up? How are we going?
It's looking good.
Yeah, once we get just brown off, just a little cook through the rabbit, then we can put it on slow coals and just let it do its thing, eh?
Sounds good.
And we'll see how it is, eh? Well, you be the judge, mate. They're your rabbits, so I've only just prepared them up for you. So there's a lot of pressure on them, isn't there?
There is.
There is, yeah.
I grew up in Moree. When I went to boarding school, parents weren't that keen on me. And I wasn't real handy around the farm or anything. So when I came home, realised the life with my brother wasn't going to work out. So I went to Sydney. Anyway, I stumbled into poetry in Tamworth in 1987 at the Country Music Festival. And then that got me a job in journalism at the Northern Daily Leader. And we formed a mob called the Naked Poets. So we used to pack out the golf club every year with some wonderful buddy entertainers. And then I went sort of full time in '96. Went to Sydney. Nothing happened for about a year. But anyway, so I've been writing a few yarns around the bush here, there, and there. A lot of times I got my mates in it. And one of the first ones I wrote was called Fishing for Cod. And it features 4 great mates of mine: Killer Kirkness, Murray Kirkness, who worked at the Leader with me in Tamworth. Buddy Mick Smith, they shared a house. Quentin Bailey, phones off, or put it on vibrate and shove them down your pants and hope someone calls. I won't say that at the Liverpool Catholic Club on Sunday. Anyway. And Quentin Bailey and a bloke called Peter Resch, who in the Palms is a jam team god. And when you're doing poetry in Sydney, you're doing stuff about bush stuff, or in the cities, you've got to explain to them about stuff, So river fishing is a foreign thing to them. They think it's all deep sea and beach fishing, and they've got no idea how intricate and how complicated river fishing is, how much preparation is involved and dedication. You need a couple of hours digging worms and catching yabbies for bait. You need a few hours in the bottle shop, working out the right ratios. Anything from a couple of hours to 5 days driving to a secret destination that only you and 573 other people know about. You get there, you get the fire going, get the tents up, get the Essex and chairs arranged in the right position. Then you get your hand lines, it's all hand lines, and the flash blokes will have a springer, like a metal rod or a stick so toss your bait out, put that over the springer, line there, and the real flash blokes will have an alligator clip with a bell on it and attach that to the line. Because you don't sit by your lines, do you, fellas? You go back and guard your esky. Because there's always some bastard who brings a bloody 6-pack of light and drinks crownies all weekend, and takes his 6-pack of bloody 1974 light home with him again. Now, if they hear the bell tingle, they might be half encouraged to bloody have a trundle down, but generally at about 2 a.m, after the second flagon of high-quality Royal Reserve port, stagger down. If you don't fall in, it's a miracle. And if you catch someone, then it's a real time for celebration. Now, here we go. This is a true story, folks. Only the facts have been changed to protect the innocent. Killer Quentin and Bloody Mick went fishing out west for cod. They took Reshi along as their spiritual guide. He was known as the Jam Tin God. The trek had been planned for 6 long months and all was now in order. They were ready to go to the great beyond, just north of the Queensland border. With 1,000 yabbies, 600 carp and a mile or more of worms. They had the bait to lure the fish and meet them on equal terms. For the cod that come from the great beyond, near the Never Go Dry Lagoon, are the hardest cod in the world to catch. They don't waltz to the fisherman's tune. Well, the 4-wheel drive was sardine packed, the trailer stacked 10 foot high, with boats and tackle and food and grog. The boys weren't going to go dry. They got to the river the crack of dawn and eerie mist on the water. The Jam Tin God stood up and proclaimed, "Bringeth the lamb to the slaughter." Well, they set their lines, they made their camp, then Killer opened a beer. He drank a toast to a healthy catch and said, "Tell the cod we're here." Well, a tinkering bell was the first alert that the fish were on the bite, but the line hit the water, springer and all, and vanished out of sight. 10 more went as a frenzy began. There was little the boys could do. There was just no chance of grabbing the lines or their hands would be cut in two. The rot went on for 3 long days. The party was spent to a man, or except, of course, for the Jam Tin God, who had one final plan. So they hooked the carcass of a fly-blowing ewe to the anchor from one of the boats. The sheep had been dead for a good 2 weeks and stank like 1,000 goats. They secured the lot with a length of chain to an old rusty plough by a tree. So the jam king got it. The cod breaks out, he's far too good for me. Well, they whistled their way to their sleeping bags with a jovial fisherman's choir. Then Quentin sang some Al Jolson songs by the flickering light of the fire. They drifted off to the land of Nod, but soon awoke in fright as the murderous sound of a fish-drawn plough came thundering through the night. The plough was headed straight for the camp, the chain was glowing red, gum trees snapped like matchsticks and the boys thought they were dead. But bloody Mickey cracked the whip and said, quick, get in the truck. We can catch this sucker with half a chance and, give it an ounce of luck. So they followed the plough for an hour or so. So the fish had finished its run. Then they tied the chain to the four-wheel drive and the battle had begun. Killer jumped in the driver's seat with a look of satisfaction. Said the bloody cod's as good as caught. Get ready for some action. Well, the engine roared, the tyres spun, the boys were pushing hard. The sun came up and the sun went down. And they'd gone for just a yard. But they inched ahead, the cod was beat, the boys let out a cheer. As this Moby Dick of the inland sea, he started to appear. With a mouth as big as a block of flats, there was nothing he couldn't swallow. He was 40 foot from lip to gill, there's plenty more to follow. Now Killer was clocking up overtime. The tyres were all but bald, while others watched as the fish came out and the river began to fall. And all across the countryside, the rivers were running dry. From Mungandai to Shepparton, the folk were asking why. The Darling was barely a trickle. The Murray ran hardly a drop, till the PM flew in from Canberra and he begged the boys to stop. See, drought had hit the country bad and they'd finally found the cause. So the boys cut loose that super cod to national applause. The river levels rose again, the tragedy averted. The fishing party headed home, a trifle disconcerted. Now they'll tell you they've captured some big cod since, but the biggest, without a doubt, was the monster they caught, but had to release to save the land from drought. There we go. That's right.
Love it, guys.
Thank you.
Oh, she's off the bone.
That is off the bone.
Everything's off the bone. Yep. So let's see what we got. You hold her up. We get a bit of juice going. Oh. So these are the 4 rabbits we put in, and they are absolutely magnificent. Look, all right.
That'll do me.
That'll do him.
I won't eat all that.
Hang on.